people are going to be swayed. If their stomachs are hungry, that gives good reason for why we should justify the poor action. No different from our Australian government who desperately want to bomb Syria. And whilst all of these people are running out of the country into Germany. But that's going to be okay. That will be okay.
When we know it's not okay.
Right.
But they're saying it's okay.
Okay. So how would I see that astrologically? So I guess you could probably try and look at some constellation or relationship to world event. Yeah. And there seems to be very much a lopsidedness on and around money. It's just like...
Well, I think people are starting to actually wake up what it is about.
Right.
And what it is used for in order to, not only for subjugation, but in regards to
some
how
of us
false it is.
Well, I think some people are. It's just that there's just not enough. And most people have very, very specific views about working hard, getting what they get, they're entitled to, as a result of their working. And then
who's winning the football?
Well, that's okay. It's just that, and they're happy with that, right? But it's when they aren't happy with that, does it become a problem?
Yeah, that's right. And it's when it's like, well, how it actually affects every individual. If they're really unhappy or life's just gone to shit, that's when they start asking the question, there has to be more to this. Or what am I doing wrong? Oh, I just can't keep doing this. And this is what people are going to eventually, they will all start to fall down. Because they're going to have to start asking the questions. Why am I not happy? There has to be more than this. I'm just going to work. I'm coming home watching the football, but even that's not making me happy anymore. It's a mouse Yeah, so, and it's up to the individual to ask themselves the really important questions about their life. So, and and that's the thing. It's like one person, us sitting here talking about it, maybe someone will overhear it and go, okay, what are they talking about? That was interesting what that man said. I'm going to go out and have a look at that.
Yeah, that's the hope I have.
Yeah, I have that hope as well. It's like you have to ask yourself the really big, important questions. What makes me tick? What do I want? How do I want to live my life? What do I want to leave my children and this planet when I go? Because you're going to go.
It's the dash between you.
Yeah.
And I guess, why do I need this?
Yeah, why do I need it? Is this really making me happy? Is this filling my heart with joy? How do I feel every night when I go to bed? And how do I feel when I wake up? So it's up to the individual to ask themselves the question. Well, and then once they start asking the question, the big boys on top, under the Pluto banner, they will eventually start to notice that the little people down here will actually make a difference. But it is up to the individual. And that's what Aquarius is all about. They are the individual amongst the group consciousness. And each individual counts in that group consciousness. Of course, we are led by our hearts, which is Leo, which is also the individual, but in the group consciousness. So that's what Aquarius is all about. It's about the individual rising up, being liberated from the freedom of the Pisces era. It's that no longer serves us anymore. You have to ask the questions, get to know the answers, follow through with your heart, and then you can stand up tall and proud and go, okay, I'm part of this. I'm part of the problem. So I'm also going to fix it. And that's what Aquarius is all about.
Yay.
So it's up to the individual to do it.
You just gave me chills.
Ask the questions. Ask the questions, no matter how big or small they are.
No, I agree. And
whether it's big, like, why? Oh, wow, that doesn't make me happy anymore. Oh.
I think that's what we're starting to know. We're starting to see through this corporate illusion of just force-fed crap, regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
And we're realizing that, well, as a consciousness going through this period, it's shown to us in everything, and we can relate to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there wouldn't be shows like this that we're doing right now 10 years ago. People are starting to understand it, and regardless whether it's consciousness or them paying bills or looking at the government and how they don't relate to anyone these days, I think we're all coming through that gnosis where we're realizing that I think we've been led down a path where a lot of people have gotten it wrong.
Yeah, just funny you said about politics. I mean, I'm going to do a 1 minute segue because I personally didn't really understand politics. I mean, I was never a big fan of it. I understood it from a distance. I do understand about the 3 tiers of government, and I got my head around that. A lot of people don't even understand that.
Have you ever read the Constitution?
No, never.
Why isn't it taught in school?
Yeah.
This is the basis when you're living. You don't get taught in school.
But I was going to say, the frustration I've seen in Australia, UK and America, let's say the 3 British sort of cohorts, and it's probably true of other Western countries, but let's just take these three. Two parties, a right side, conservative, and a left side, or socialist. I uncovered a global, this is not a conspiracy, this is real, they all belong to, so if you're a conservative government, whether you're in power or not, you're part of a bigger group globally. The right side is in a group called the International Democratic Union.
And it'd be a corporation, wouldn't it?
And well, it's 80 political parties that are all aligned with the right side. So the Liberal Party of Australia in there, the Republican Party are in there. You know, the current New Zealand Prime Minister is actually the president of this organisation. You never hear about it on the news. You hear about G20. But on the flip side, there is one that the Australian Labor Party is involved in, and it's called the Socialist International. And it's a group, I think they started in Chile in 1950s and by the 1980s. And there's about 80 countries involved in either of those two. And they've both been driven through some orchestration, believe it or not, through George W.H. Bush back in 1983.
I'm surprised.
And both of them, socialist are things. So the policies that our government is following are being instructed from a global level. And this is not an NWO, New World Order type process. I'm just saying that the right align right globally, the left align globally. So they align their policies. You know, so we wonder, why the hell are we not talking about renewables for energy? Because there's obviously a push in the right because it's run by the oil men. You know, they don't want a changing industry at a global level. They want to keep the status quo.
There's not enough money in renewables to turn a profit.
That's right. So that's what they see.
And if that's the case, why do we need their money?
We don't.
Yeah,
that's right.
So it's just that it's so hard and becoming so hard. And I've tried it for the last 12 months. Try living without money. And it's really interesting what it's like to do that. What it's like to try and get your independence back. And it's very difficult. You can rely on people to a degree, but not absolutely. Yeah. And I've learned some really valuable lessons out of it. I mean, I might have a different view, but I mean, you know, it is very challenging. And when we start to give money less power, and find a way of doing that, as we are all trying to do that ourselves as peaceful warriors in this process, it will have a transformational effect, provided there's enough like-minded people to do so. It's like, we're not in war now because there's enough goodness in the world to prevent it. But when it gets to a point where it tips over, that's when there's enough people thinking it's justifiable.
But I guess closing up, because we are finishing up on time, I think we have come a long way. I think by us just talking about this knowledge and finding ways to get this knowledge freely by using means on the internet, like if the person's dead, there's really no copyrights on for you to read their works. You know, go out, speak to people, borrow their book. Remember, you can do these things. You're allowed to borrow your friend's book without paying.
Library,
You know,
librarians.
You are a librarian.
You can do this and find out knowledge for yourself, because the knowledge is out there, especially when it comes to the Zodiac.
The Freemasons have got some very good books locked up in shelves. Now, before I left, I took the keys, left all the doors open, so pop in any time.
I just want a beautiful, though, that library. I know we mentioned this before, but that beautiful word, Libra. Liber means library, liberation, liberty. Liber means free. Liber means books. It's linked to library. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that. But it's true. Libier. Yeah,
and liberate yourselves, everybody. Yeah. And free yourself with a bit of knowledge and consciousness. Wisdom. Yeah. And wisdom. I think that's our motto. So Steve, what's happening? Where can people get in touch with you?
I've new group website, a new group on Facebook, 7 Billion Presidents.
That sounds fun.
You can be one too.
Okay.
All right.
Excellent.
Elect yourself.
It's all about self-governance.
Well,
please elect yourself. Everyone gets one vote.
You can be part of my bearded nation.
SEVEN, Billion Presidents.
Wonderful. And Helen, how can people get in touch with you?
I have a Facebook page called Authentic Awareness of You, so they can contact me there.
Wonderful. And can people get readings, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, readings, tarot readings. I can email, do Skype, some in person if they want to. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Wonderful.
I'd love to tell you about yourself.
you too could be maybe a 2810 or a 2911. You never know. And it's fine if you're a 7.
Happy September, everybody.
Happy September.
It's going to be fine.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be good.
And don't worry, we think positive thoughts because there's going to be, and even if there is an explosion or whatever, ignore it. Because we know that it's pointless delving into the crap of all these high people with money. So stay peaceful. Greg, how can people get in touch with you?
Conscious Wisdom Podcast. You and I run a Facebook page, and they can contact me through Dandelion Gifts in West End.
Wonderful. I'm Kris R. Anderson. It's been a wonderful insight into the Zodiac, a bit of conspiracy. We've been a little bit everywhere, but hopefully it's helped you to go and track down some things for you to go and research yourselves. This has been the Conscious Wisdom Podcast. We'll be back next week. Hope you had fun, and see you later.